Hi, I'm Clay Brown. Once again, we're here to study the Bible in Hebrew, the Old Testament, and today we're at Genesis chapter 8. So join with me and we'll highlight a few verses and hope to learn a little bit about the Word of God and to sharpen our Hebrew skills as well. Get this started. There we go. Okay. Now, first, let's look at the Hebrew. Vayikar Elohim et Noach va'et ka ha'chaya va'et ka ha'behema asher ato ba'taba vayikar Elohim ruach el ha'eretz wa yishku hamayim. And in English, and I'm going to jump around a little bit, it means God. That's what we would say, the first word we would use, God. He remembered Noah and all animals and all animals which they were on the ark. God had a wind blow across upon the land, the earth, and the waters, they resided. Or this is waters and this is reside. So, one more time, God remembered Noah and all the living things and all the animals which were upon the ark, and he caused the waters caused the wind to blow over, in other words, to dry the land by blowing across it, and the waters to reside. Now, there's several things I want to point out here, just to kind of grab with us as we go. And that is, let's look at the verbs first, just the verbs, okay? I can find, let's see, this one, remembered. The verb remembered. This one, crossed over, or blew over in this case. And then right here, resided. The water resided, right? Those are the only verbs I can see right now. So let's just go with those. Notice there is something here. Look at that. Yod, yod, yod. None of these, all these verbs have the same prefixes because they are conversive was or consecutive was. As we mentioned in Genesis 7 passage, there are three passages we studied in Genesis 7. History is replete with this structure, right? The conversive or consecutive wa. It means that these occurred in the past, these actions, and in sequence. This happened, then this happened, then this happened. And guess what? When you go to Genesis 8:2, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to describe the verbs in sequence because it's describing historical events that occurred, as by definition, in the past. Enough on that. Clean this up a little bit, and then let's go to the next thing. The next thing is, let's look at another characteristic or something that occurs a lot, and that is the direct object marker. Now, guys, I'm not this is geared towards those who are learning Hebrew or have already learned it and they just want to brush up. You should know what the direct object marker is, right? It does exactly what the title says. It identifies nouns that are being targeted by a particular verb. So there's no confusion as to which verb is acting on which noun. For instance, who did God remember? He remembered Noah. Okay. How do we know that? Because the direct object marker appears between the verb and the noun that it's acting on. Okay. Nothing difficult there. And what else? We have another one. And this is a direct object marker with the wa at the beginning. So, and he also remembered something else. What did he remember? All the living things, right? And he remembered something else, right? What did else he remember? He remembered all, right? The animals, the behemoth, from the word behemoth, which we see in the book of Job, correct? The behemoth, it basically talks about, is a generic word for land animal, right? Cows should be a behemoth, and so forth, which, okay. Now, here we see a different use, and this is what I like about this verse. Here we see a different use of the direct object marker. It is, but what's the difference here? Here we have a prefix or a suffix, the wa appearing at the end. And why is that? Because a direct object marker, a second use of it is to, you can combine them with a pronominal suffix. Woe here would be them, or and it would makes the word just simply a pronoun by itself. Whereas you would normally take this wa and you would attach it to the end of this word, right? Hope I can do this right. There we go. But instead, they've already done that. They've made it a separate word. Them on the ark. There we go. So, two things, right? The direct object marker, the conversive va, and the verbs. So, good to know. Good thing about reading. Best thing about learning by reading, after you've learned enough to do so, is to is that you learn as you read. Okay, let's do it again. This time we're on Genesis 8:19, and let's do what we did before. Ka ha-chaya, ka haramesh, waka ha-of, ka romesh, ha-edits. Here's a long one. La mish fa chotehem, yatsu min ha taba. And that means all of life, each of life, every living thing, all and every creeping thing, and all birds, all, hold on a second, which creeps upon the earth. And by the way, which does not appear there. A lot of things are just fillers. The Hebrew doesn't always use every word. According to their kinds, went from the ark. So let's go back and do a similar thing. I want to focus this time in this particular verse on one word. call. Call is a very, it's a word we find all the time. It's just a common word throughout. So we're going to see that all the time, right? When we study Hebrew and read the Old Testament or read anything in Hebrew. And it can mean all, every, each. So it's a word which categorizes, which keeps things, which describes a group, all of the group, each of them. In other words, each of those, it classifies. So we know that here. And we see a little bit of variety here, I believe. Let's see. Every animal. So here it means every. And then it means every creeping thing, all right? And all birds. Okay, so here it means every. Here it means all. Okay, and so we have some variety there. That is all I have today. And then let's get back together tomorrow and let's look at Genesis 9. God bless. Shalom. See you then.